Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the video that is out there from a young lady on TikTok where she stated that she doesn't know why the black community follows Dave Ramsey. None of the stuff or most of the stuff won't work. That we have issues that the majority community doesn't have, and that his whole system won't work, this and that. It was like she went kind of deep into it. And I want to say from the beginning that I think that she came from a good heart, not where she's trying to beat down somebody, where she's trying to tell people not to follow someone, even though she kind of insinuated that. I can tell you from my own experience, when I heard Dave Ramsey after I had built my business in 1990. I built my first company, and by 1994 I was $300,000 in debt. And I came across Dave Ramsey, and I was listening to him on the radio, and I was following his baby steps. And I can tell you that the baby steps did help me and my family. It got us into the right mindset. And this is what I think that most people don't get about what Dave Ramsey tries to teach people. And this is where I think the disconnect is coming in the white community, because there's a lot of white people that aren't following Dave Ramsey anymore. He even admitted it in a video that he did with I think it's Jason Hamorsey or Hamorsey. You can look that up. He did a video and he said that they have to change their whole business model because it's just going down. And in the black community, the same thing is happening. It's because religion. You can't scare white people and you can't scare black people with religion anymore. Like a lot of times, in the past, you could say, the Burroughs is slave to the lender. They use all of these terms and these words to get you all hyped in your mind to where, okay, God said this and I'm not. And then what people start to realize over time is that they've been doing a lot of things that the Bible told them not to do, and nothing happened to them. And even if something did happen to them, they really could say it was my fault. It wasn't because I didn't follow the Bible. Now, I'm not here to try to tell people not to follow the Bible. I'm not here trying to tell people to do things that are wrong. What I'm here to tell you is that you cannot be scared by the Bible into getting out of debt. And that's what it really comes down to. People's situations dictate what they will and won't do. Remember the movie Trading Places? When Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, where they switched them, and the Dukes were like, we can change the Dan Aykroyd's character. We can make him go down and do things that poor people do, and we can make Eddie Murphy's character believe that he's rich. Now, for both of them, this is the thing that people miss. And this is what will also help you get out of debt, regardless of whose program that you use, is that there's going to be something. And this is why they use religion, because religion is one of the things that grabs the most people, but it's not as effective as it used to be. Is that for everyone, for you, for me, there's going to be one little bitty thing, like a little test that will make you either believe or not believe. So to go back to my example with Eddie Murphy, what did he do? When they said that this is your house, this is your limo, this is all of your stuff, what did he do? He threw something on the ground that he thought was expensive to get the reaction. And once they said, you just threw your vase down, I think they said it was like $3,000 vase, and it broke. Because he said, is this mine? Yes, that's yours. He threw it on the floor and broke it. And now that's for a movie. That's it. But in his mind, that what they do, movies are like metaphor. Movies are like reality in a sense. People who write movies do things based off of what we do as in real life, because people wouldn't watch the movie. And some of you may be thinking, well, if it's mine, I can do anything I want with it. And so they put it in the movie, threw it down, broke it. And in his mind, he was like, this is mine. Then he said, asked the butler, are you my butler? The guy said yes. So in his mind, he was like, That's mine. That his belief. So with all of the stuff that they did, with changing his clothes, giving them money, limo, bringing them into the house, and saying it with words, it wasn't enough for him to believe, even though that was a movie. But you and I have that same thing, that same type of question inside of us. And they did the same thing for Dan Aykroyd's character when they made him understand that he had lost everything, because he was going to his friends. They treated him a certain way. He didn't have money, didn't have the clothes, and all of a sudden he was just left out on the street. And then he believed he was poor at that time. So when I look back through, and here's Dave Ramsey's book, so I'm not one of these that'll just say that I'm like talking about something. I've had this book for years. This book was purchased back, it don't have a date on there, but this book was purchased a long time ago. And the one thing that I noticed, because I reviewed it before making this video, is that Dave Ramsey is going through over and over and over again, before he even really talks about the numbers, is to get people's mindset changed. So when we talk about what's going on in the black community, with the predatory lending, with the churches failing, with poor financial education, even though only 14% of black families live in poverty. Only 14%. That means 80-some% is not living in poverty, but they probably are struggling. And then she also talked about people don't have enough money to get out of debt. That's a mindset thing. So in Dave Ramsey's book, he talks big about mindset. And then I got another book here that I think you should look at. It's called Psycho-Cybernetics. Because, and I read this book here, and I got stuff bookmarked all through here, because it was by Matthew Maltz. And he talked about that if you do not mentally change your mindset, if you don't change your mindset, you will look at the same opportunity and not think that it's an opportunity. You will look at the same thing that someone else looks at and not think that you can have any opportunity with it. He even talked about people who had lost weight, who had weight loss surgery, lost 200-300 pounds, looked at themselves in the mirror and still saw the 200-300 pound person, because you have to change. Here, remember, in one of the videos I talked about that we do not see like this. Like, people think that we see and that's it. No, we see, and the reflection comes back into our mind in the way that we have pictured it from our education, upbringing, family, surroundings, everything. That picture is right there, and then you insert what you saw into that picture, and then that's what you see. So if you see that it's okay to go to a check cashing place and pay them $3 to cash your check every time, and if you get paid over a year every week and you pay $3 times 52, that you're willing to pay $156 to get your check cashed over a year. If you're willing to go to a time machine and pay not one that's with your bank, and you pay a fee for that bank, and you pay a fee to your bank for not using your bank's machine, are you willing to lose that kind of money? That stuff adds up. If you go to payday loan places, and I'm not saying that people, they're there for a reason. I don't agree with them, but they're there for a reason. But a person, if it comes down to it, and they have to go and get that loan, that they understand what they're getting into. And some of the times when people understand, because see, you can't just tell a person, don't go get a payday loan. You can't just go tell a person, don't go to the check cashing place. Don't do those things because it's going to make you lose money. That's not how they're going to see it, because they've been around it their whole life. What you have to do is you have to get them to start thinking, is this good for me? And the only way they're going to think if it's good for them is if they feel like it's good for them. And the only way they're going to feel like it's good for them is to understand what they want and the feeling that they want. So let me give you an example. If a person says, I'm tired of being broke, but they're doing things that make them feel good with being broke. So how are you going to change a person's mindset if they say, I'm tired of being broke, but they do what they feel like doing that makes them broke? Because people are going to do what they feel like doing. The only way you're going to be able to do that, the only way, is you're going to have to change the individual's mindset to make them feel the opposite about what they're doing to get themselves to be broke. And that's very hard to do, because if a person has not been educated about finances, does not have the income, and has all of those bad habits, they're going to have to go through a mindset change. And in Dave Ramsey's book, and I give him credit, I also, and you can, if you get my membership program, I have a Get Out of Debt program that I wrote. It's 4 videos and 4 workbooks. And he talks about it in here. He talks about the mindset before they even started talking about money. He talks about the myths. He talks about being in denial. He talks about setting up an emergency fund, because most people can't even save money. I remember when I was working with one of my employees with one of my companies, and he was like, man, I just can't seem to save any money. And I said, just do this for me. I just want you to save $5 a week over the next month. And guess what? I asked him the next week, and he couldn't even save $5 out of his paycheck. Couldn't even save $5. I'm talking about $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 out of his paycheck. So you could talk and you can try to scare people and do all of that stuff, and it's not going to work until they change their mindset. So in all communities, because I deal with people, from every community, and something that I'm seeing that is very prevalent is that because of the information that is out there from multiple sources, you can go right here after you watch my video, another video is going to pop up, and another video is going to pop up, another one, and you have your mind scrambling, wondering what is right, what's wrong, who is true, what's not true. And I remember a young lady asked me a question, and it was one of the most deep, thoughtful questions that someone could ever ask me, because she said, how do I know if someone is telling me the truth? And I stopped for a moment. I did not answer her right away. And I said that that's a very good question. With all of the information that is out there in today's world, that is an excellent question. And what my answer came to be was that you're going to have to know what you want, and then you're going to have to look at that individual and match that individual to what you want. And then you're going to have to make sure that that individual is actually doing or has done what you want to be done for yourself. If that person has not done it, it's just like someone being the coach of a coach of a coach. You want people who have played in the game. I've played in the game. In 1994, my wife and I were $300,000 in debt. Imagine waking up where you have built a business over 4 years, your dreams come true, and then you wake up and you have done the wrong thing financially, and now you're $300,000 in debt. And we had to make decisions, because when you're in debt and you're a couple, what do you start doing? You start arguing with each other. So this is before you even get with the money, before you can even talk about getting out of debt. You and your spouse have to have an agreement with each other on how you're going to move forward. And that only way that that's going to be right is if you both get the feeling that if you move forward that way, that it's going to be beneficial to you and the family. If you don't get that feeling, one of you is going to do something, and then the other one's going to want to go buy something. It's just going to start all over again. And when I had counsel coaches, when I used to do this in the past, is I would just say, if one of you do something that you wasn't supposed to do, you don't need to argue. You just need to say, this is what we wrote down that we wasn't going to do. So when me and my wife wrote stuff down, we said we're going to get out of debt. It was Christmas time. We told the family we're only going to get stuff for our kids. We didn't go overboard for our kids. Family reacted way different. They were like, we don't need stuff. We just don't. We got stuff. So you'll be surprised. Like a lot of times people want to do stuff because they want to, they think that people are going to be upset because they don't get them something. No, people want you to be happy. And so don't think that you got to impress people. So stop thinking about that. Sometimes people think that they feel good because they impress people when you shouldn't be trying to impress people. You should only impress yourself. So whatever you get for yourself, don't get things to impress other people, because you'll find that there's plenty of things that you can get to impress yourself, and that you will stop trying to go out and get other things because you have what impresses you. That could be with clothes, that could be with a nice car, that could be with a nice house, but you don't go overboard. And we are here to live our best life, not to live a poor life and wait till you turn 60 years old to start living your best life. No, you're here to live your best life now. But if you construct it the right way, you will be able to do it. If you do it the wrong way, you won't be able to do it. You're just going to have stress in your life. So once you had that agreement with you and your spouse, or if you're single, you had that agreement with yourself, then you can start moving forward with how you're going to get out of debt, putting together a plan, seeing how much debt you owe, because that's something that a lot of people don't do. How much do you owe? They make it very easy now. Back in the past, when we did it, we had to just wait for all the bills to come in. Now you can just go to your credit report and be like, that's all my bills. And then you could get all your mail with your electric, your cable, or your apps and all that stuff. Put it on a spreadsheet and you'll be like, okay, that's what I have. That's what I have to come up with every month just to be able to just keep things going. And then it helps you get to that mindset where you could say, I don't feel good having things this way. Let me trim things because I'm going to feel better. So you'll start changing your mindset. That's what I did. And that's what people in Dave Ramsey, the successful people, that's what they ended up doing to be able to change. And once you make that change, you will become a new person. I'm going to take a quick drink here. I'm still losing my voice. Once you do that, you will start to see that you become a new person. And some of the times when you become that new person, people that were making you do things, or not making you, but that was influencing you to do things wrong financially, like let's go to the mall, let's spend online, ads that come in, it could be TV commercials, whatever, you will stop reacting to those. In my program, I talk about what's making you react to that. Like you see a big TV, and then you say, okay, I got to get a bigger TV. And then you got to get a bigger TV, or I got to get a newer TV. I got to get new clothes when you already got new clothes. You got to get another shirt when you already got that same shirt. I remember when I was shopping, I had noticed that I had got the same blue shirt like 5 times. Like I just bought this shirt last week, and then I went shopping another month and I bought the same blue shirt. Why did I do that? Because I just felt like at that time that I had to just buy something. Like if you go in the store, got to buy something. There's times that now my wife and I will go to the mall and we don't buy anything. Don't buy nothing. And we can afford to buy stuff, and we just walk through. I guess you could say it's exercise. Remember those older people that used to go through the mall and you used to see them walking around in circles in the mall? Well, I guess that's what we've became. We're just not as old, but we go around and just walk, get the exercise, especially up here because it gets real cold. And if something you want to get, my wife want to get something, or I get something, but most of the time we'll just go walking through, just to go walking through the mall. So will Dave Ramsey's program work for the Black community? Because that's what's really like the bottom line of all of this. I think that Dave Ramsey's program will work. I just think that there needs to be some modifications for the things that we go through in the Black community that people don't usually go through in the white community. But I think that even in the white community, depending on where they came from, they go through it the same thing. It's just that it looks a little bit different. Let me give you some examples. Sports players. when they get to making money, a lot of family come around asking for money, and a lot of those family members don't have money, so they thinking like this person is the pot of gold. You know, they got the money, and they don't understand. It puts a lot of pressure on that individual. And I even admit that I went through a period of time where I had to just come to the realization that I just had to say no to family. Like people emailing me, cousins, and I would just give them the money. Like I didn't even ask for the money back, and then I would get the money, and then I was like, just give it back, and then it was like I just gave the money and didn't ask for it back, and my wife was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I just had to start saying no. And this is something that I think that Black people who come into money go through, and also I think that there's white people that go through that same thing. It's just that maybe and I think that it's really the same. Like it really. I think what happens is that a lot of probably this is what makes it look warped, is that a lot of the people who become famous, rich sports players come from families that didn't have money. I would just say the majority, and I don't even know those numbers. I'll just say a lot. And then the ones that don't, like we were looking at Dobbs on the Minnesota Vikings, his family came from money, and he's playing in there, and you see how they always mention that his mom and dad are aerospace scientists, and that he has his degree in aerospace, and so obviously whatever money he's making, they don't need any money from him. And but I've seen even white players, ball players, baseball players that ended up giving money to their family. So I think that it comes down to where is your family at, and then that's why those types of things starts to happen. But I could say this, that when I talk to my white friends that are at the level that I'm at now, and I tell them about Black people and my Arab friends that give to their parents, you know, keep them going. Like I've helped a lot of them with their debt, because they're like, I got to take care of my mom, I got to take care of my brother, my sister. Like this is cultural for them. And I tell this to my white friends, and they're like, man, I don't have to go through anything like that. And I say, well, what is the education and the financial circumstances of your parents? And then when they say, well, you know, they worked for such and such corporation and retired and that, and get retirement and had investments, and you could see, okay, well, that's why you don't have that issue. It's not technically about the people, it's about what that family has done. And so if there's anything that all of us have to do to really turn things around, is that we have to become more of an example. My kids watch my example. Your kids watch you as an example. And if you handle your money wrong, it doesn't matter what you say to them. Doesn't matter if you try to scare them, all this, use the Bible, whips, chains, whatever that stuff, it ain't going to work. They're going to follow what they see you do. And that's going to take time, no matter what. And that's another thing, I didn't even think about this, is that no matter what, Dave Ramsey, my program, Cybernetics with changing the mindset, all of the stuff is going to take time. And if you think that all of your problems are going to be done overnight, quick fix, fast food mentality, nothing is going to work for you. You're going to stay broke. Like that is one of the biggest things that I think is hurting. If you want to say what's hurting that 14%. So with the 14%, they feel that the church has failed them. They've paid to the church. Church hasn't paid them back. Churches paid them back in mental upbringing, but they feel that it's failed them on what they doing with their life, because the church, the preacher, the pastor, the bishop, whatever they want to call themselves, they're going to preach to you. They're going to try to make you feel good. That's all they're going to do. And they're going to throw some God in there, Jesus, or whatever religion you are, to try to get you to stay strong in that direction. And then you stay strong in that direction, and you feel, and then nothing happens in your life, and you look back, you say, I've been doing this for 20, 30 years, same situation. So something needs to change. The first thing they do, blame it on the church. When really it's your mindset. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. I say that 3 times so you can get it in your head. So if we are going to change some things, when you look at what's going on in our community with predatory lending, we hear this all over the place, but people still run to predatory lending. The thing isn't about predatory lending, is why are you in a situation to go to the predatory lender? Why do you feel good about using the resources of a predatory lending when you know what that ends up being? So we always need to ask that question going backwards, because we already know what the answer is going forward. We need to get the answers going backwards. Why? Why do I do this? Why do I feel good doing this? Why do I do this even though I know it puts me in a worse situation? Why? Get those answers and then say, do I feel good staying that way? You will say it or feel it because you are doing it. And when you try to start to change, you're not going to feel as good about changing. I hope you're following me right now, but this is very important. It goes straight to this book right here. And then education, we got all of the resources out there. And this goes back to that young lady's question. We got YouTube, we got the books, got back when I was coming up, the audio tapes, the DVDs, the MP3s, the courses, all of these Him 500s and Grant Cardone, all of these programs. And I even got some up here, Jeff Paul, Carlton Sheets with No Money Down, Kevin Trudeau, Don Lepre, Brad Richdale, Dan Kennedy, all of, like, I got all those books. And something that I did a long time ago is that, and my wife, I credit my wife Barbara with helping me with this, is that that's what you got to get. If you are heterosexual, you got to get a good spouse, or whatever your persuasion is. You got to get a good partner, because they will help you understand more about yourself. And as long as you listen, like, don't just disregard it. Listen. Like, I listen to my wife, because when I listen, it helps me, and she listens to me, and it helps her. But one of the things she said to me, among other things, there was something she said to me when we first got together that really helped me with business. But one of the things that she said to me one of the times, she said, you don't need anything else to get to where you want to be. I think it was when I was really starting to work on the credit repair shop in 2008, because for 2 years with the credit repair shop, made no money, like zero. I was just investing money into it, trying to help people. I was even had people coming to my home and to my office, figuring out how they can get out of debt. We didn't even do credit repair at that time. It's my parent company, The Real Debt Solution. I was just telling people how to get out of debt, because I was real big about getting out of debt, because I had followed Dave Ramsey's program and threw in my little recipe for it. So I was helping people get out of debt, because I was like, if people could get out of debt, I knew the relief it felt to me to not have the debt. And at that time I only had my home, and so I was like, it's a relief, like a burden off your shoulders. Like, just think, whatever your income is, say you make $10,000 a month and only $2,500 a month is spent on everything. How would you feel moving forward that month, the next month, the next month? Well, that's what happened with me. And so, but I was always looking for stuff like, what's the next thing to boost my business? What's the next program? Get this business coach, all of this stuff. And my wife said, you don't need nothing else. Look at all the stuff you got. You don't need nothing else. All you have to do is you need to believe in yourself. And that goes to my mentor, Reverend Ike. And just so you know, my mom, she saw Reverend Ike, and she said that I remind her of Reverend Ike. And Reverend Ike talks about this. He said, you got to stop competing with yourself. You got to stop competing with yourself. So let me give you an example of you competing with yourself. If I tell you you can get out of debt, you can get out of debt. What is the first thing that come to your mind? If you're talking about, I ain't got the money, I ain't, I got too much debt, I got bad credit, that's competing with yourself. Why didn't you start thinking about, let me at least listen to some ways to get out of debt? And you might be saying, well, I do listen to ways to get out of debt. I listen to you, Steve. I go and watch these other videos. Okay, well, then let's see if you're competing with yourself. When did you put it into action? And when you put it into action, did you have doubts that it could work? And then if you put it into action, what are the results that you're getting? Now, I'm not talking about getting fast results. I'm just talking about, have you put it into action, and are you starting to see results on the physical side, the world view, but are you seeing results on the inside? Do you still see it from that mindset of, I can't do it, or it's hard to do it? Are you seeing it from that mindset? Or have you started making that change like Matthew Maltz talked about, where you're actually, when you have problems, you start to say, well, number one, if I believe that I can accomplish that problem, it's going to get accomplished. Because once you do that, then all of these things start coming into your reality. Like, you'll see one of my videos and you might skip to 25 minutes and 10 seconds on my video. Like, something made you move the mouse and moved to 25 minutes and 10 seconds. And right there, I was telling you the answer of a question that you were looking for. Or maybe on someone else's video, you're scrolling and you see the answer right there. That's the universe giving you the answer. And now, you have to look at that answer, and then you have to evaluate it yourself. And then this gets to where that young lady's question was that you have to be careful. When you get that information, you have to understand that you have to really run it through a logical and an emotional process to see if what that individual is telling you can work. Because there's a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on TikTok, a lot of people all over the place, Facebook, Instagram, and they make it sound good, but they don't know anything about what they're telling you to do. Zero. They don't know anything. Like, I'm talking about nothing. Like, it used to be in the past where people would have to know something, but the way it is now, because you don't have to see that person face to face, all they do is pop up a video. You don't have to know nothing. And then these faceless channels that are popping up where you don't even know who's behind them, nothing. But I think that it's going to go full circle, and people are going to have to reveal themselves. The curtain is going to be pulled up, and people will have to reveal themselves. So I hope that you found this video of value. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you have to, watch this video again, because what everybody focuses on is the instruction. And I think that what you should focus on is the mindset first. If you can get the mindset going in the right direction, the body will follow. The universe will bring things into your life that will make your life better, number one, and then give you the answers that you've been looking for. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit portion scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. You cannot know what's going on with your credit unless you get all 3 reports and all 3 scores and all of the information. That's what this will give you. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters. I do ask for a donation on those, but it's worth the time, money, and frustration, because if you end up getting sued by a debt collector and you didn't have to pay it, these letters can actually stop that. So the link is below this video. I have other services that are available if you need them. All the links are below this video.